Hiridonam. I always think that Japanese people carefully observe someone's tiny behaviors that they do subconsciously to know their personality. So Japanese people have a certain thought behind it that people's subconscious behaviors are made by a certain habits that have been built up for a long time, regardless of whether it is good or bad, right? So they go and assume someone's personality one-sidedly, judging from people's tiny behaviors and habits. So for example, if you don't put your shoes together nice and neatly after taking off your shoes when you go into someone's house in Japan, you're seen that you're ill-bred or you are uneducated, right? And Japanese people never speak out this fact directly to you, but they share this impression towards you among familiar friends, and for the time being, this reputation that you are an educated person spread around the society before you know it, and you are labeled as an uneducated person, right? So this example is a little bit exaggerated, but Japanese people have this kind of trait, and it's like if you use chopsticks in the wrong way, you are labeled as an uneducated person, and if you sit on the ground directly, you are labeled as an uneducated person, right? So if you understand Japanese, please check Japanese social media and Japanese Q&A site. There are lots of criticism that come from the Japanese people's real intention towards the behavior that is opposite to their sense of values, right? And Japanese people care too much about other person's behaviors every time, right? And really strangely, this way of thinking reflects on the employment condition of Japanese companies that place way more importance on applicants' personality when they hire someone. So, HR person in charge of interviewing applicants said that we can understand applicants' personality by how applicants communicate with a receptionist in a company, and we can understand applicants' personality by how they wrote a CV, and we can understand applicants' personality by how they behave themselves before receiving an interview from a HR person. And the applicant's interview already starts when they come into a lobby of an office. And we take such behaviors into account when we decide if we hire an applicant or not. So a HR person didn't mention about applicant's work skill at all. So I think this is really insane. One day my friend applied for a job and went to an applying company for interview, and after the procedure at a reception of a company, he was shown up in a room for an interview, and when HR person came into a room, he realized that there was a sticky note on his CV that mentioned he looked unfriendly at a reception. And apparently a receptionist secretly whispered a HR person that he was unfriendly. And he got out of the room without saying a word after that. So I think, of course, it is really important to place importance on applicants' personality in the sense of whether or not they want to work with applicants. But in Japanese companies, it's way too much. HR person always checks, applicants' behaviors to know if they are the right person to work with. So what on earth they can understand with these tiny behaviors? I really hate this kind of, business custom in Japan.